Is the world edging closer to a new arms race? Donald Trump's recent comments on Russia's nuclear missile tests suggest a dangerous escalation of tensions. He called Vladimir Putin's announcement of the Burevestnik cruise missile test not appropriate, highlighting the growing unease between Moscow and Washington. But is it really that simple? Let's delve into the details. Putin proudly declared that Russia successfully tested its unique, nuclear-capable Burevestnik cruise missile. The Kremlin framed this as essential for ensuring Russia's national security. But here's where it gets controversial. Critics argue this is more about flexing military muscle than genuine security concerns. Is Russia truly threatened, or is this a calculated move to project power on the global stage? When reporters questioned Trump about the test aboard Air Force One, he responded by suggesting Putin should focus on ending the war in Ukraine instead of developing and testing missiles. Trump pointed out that the U.S. has a nuclear submarine right off their shores, implying that such long-range missiles are unnecessary. He also added, "We test missiles all the time," suggesting a degree of equivalence between the two nations' activities. A day prior, Putin, dressed in military fatigues, met with Russia's top generals and lauded the missile as a groundbreaking achievement. "It is truly a unique weapon, one that no other country in the world possesses," he declared, adding that he had ordered preparations to build the necessary infrastructure to integrate the system into military service. Russia's chief of the general staff, Valery Gerasimov, informed Putin that the test occurred on Tuesday, with the missile traveling approximately 8,700 miles, 14,000 kilometers, over 15 hours. And this is the part most people miss. This isn't just about a missile, it's about the message it sends. Sergei Ryabkov, a close advisor to Putin, told Russian media that the U.S. had been notified in advance about the planned missile test. This raises a crucial question: was this notification a genuine attempt at transparency, or simply a formality before a deliberate act of provocation? Putin initially unveiled the invincible Burevestnik back in 2018, boasting about its almost unlimited range and its ability to evade U.S. missile defenses. At the time, he stated, "No one wanted to listen to us. So listen now." The system gained notoriety in 2019 after a failed test in the Arctic resulted in an explosion that tragically killed at least 5 scientists. The incident underscored the inherent risks associated with such advanced and potentially unstable technology. Despite Putin's claims, experts remain skeptical about the missile's supposed invincibility. Jeffrey Lewis, a nuclear nonproliferation expert at the Middlebury Institute, stated on X that NATO aircraft could potentially intercept it. Lewis argues that the Burevestnik represents another step in an arms race with no winner. But, is he right? Could there be a defensive advantage to having such a weapon, even if it escalates tensions? Despite repeated expressions from both Moscow and Washington about their desire to halt the arms race, progress has been minimal. The Kremlin has recently criticized Trump's ambitious plan to develop a missile shield, often referred to as the Golden Dome, which he claims would render the U.S. impervious to attack. Some view this as a defensive measure, while others see it as a destabilizing force that could trigger further escalation. What do you think? Is a defensive shield a path to peace or a catalyst for conflict? Last November, Moscow lowered the threshold for the use of nuclear weapons, a move widely interpreted as signaling its readiness to respond aggressively to perceived threats. Shortly after, Russia deployed its new nuclear-capable Orshnik missile on the battlefield in Ukraine. The timing of Russia's Burevestnik testing is particularly noteworthy, occurring amidst heightened nuclear rhetoric from the Kremlin and a pause in U.S. Russia talks regarding the war in Ukraine. Just last week, Putin oversaw drills involving Russia's strategic nuclear forces, which included practice missile launches. He also issued a stark warning of a very serious, if not crushing, response should Ukraine conduct further strikes deep within Russian territory using Western-supplied missiles. Russian state television openly presented these drills as a warning to the West. Sergei Karaganov, a hawkish and influential foreign policy analyst, described the exercise as a rehearsal for a first strike, intended as punishment or a warning in the event of further aggression against Russia, during a talk show. This raises a chilling question: is Russia preparing for a preemptive strike? Relations between Putin and Trump have also suffered a setback following the U.S. administration's surprise sanctions last Wednesday on two of Russia's largest oil producers and approximately 36 of their subsidiaries, measures that could significantly impact Moscow's vital energy revenues. There was further irritation with Washington, as evident in an interview with Russia's veteran foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, who stated that the Trump administration's position on the war in Ukraine had radically changed. Lavrov criticized Trump's call for Russia and Ukraine to freeze the front lines and agree to a ceasefire, an idea that Moscow has rejected. So, where does this leave us? Are we witnessing a slide towards a new Cold War, or is there still room for diplomacy? Does Russia's missile test represent a legitimate attempt to bolster its national security, or is it a dangerous act of aggression? And, perhaps most importantly, what role should the U.S. play in de-escalating these rising tensions? Share your thoughts and opinions below. Let's discuss the future of global security together.